Hi guys, this is Dash from Bloom Where You're Planted, and I finally got around to planting my fall garden starts and doing my Jiffy planting system comparison with soil blocks. So I'm super excited about that. One advantage is that it's so easy to use. You just use these little Jiffy pellet things and you just put them in here. In these little fitted holes for them, and then you just pour water on them. And let the Jiffy pellets swell up. Okay, well, we're letting those swell up. Oh, there's one disadvantage right off the bat. I forgot, you guys. These trays are so flimsy that it has a few holes in it, but I did tape them up. Maybe they'll be okay. So that was the main disadvantage to the Jiffy system that I found. The Jiffy trays were so flimsy that they just split and broke. One completely broke and I had to throw it away, and this one I was able to tape up to use it for this experiment. But when I bought the system, and you can buy the whole system full of pellets with a dome for $21. When I bought the system, I thought, oh, well good, I'll be able to use the tray every year and just buy the refill pellets. And you can get 36 refill pellets for $7. So obviously I need 2 boxes to fill up my whole 72 Jiffy planting system. So it's $14. So I thought, okay, well that's not bad. But when I found out I had to re-buy the planting tray every year, it was $12.99 just to replace the planting tray. So I thought, okay, this isn't going to be as cost effective as I originally thought it was going to be. So that's the main disadvantage, because it can get kind of expensive. And I'm trying to grow food for my family, so I'm trying to keep this cost of starting seeds as low as I possibly can. Another disadvantage was they have little nets on each of the peat pellets, I guess to keep them together. So it has these little nets. And the Jiffy planting system says that you can just plant them just like this and that these will biodegrade, but they don't. A few of my kale plants just look stunted, so I pulled them up and the roots were trying to get through this net and they were obviously having a hard time. So definitely when I plant them, I remove all this netting material and discard it before I plant. So that's one kind of extra step, and it's kind of a learning curve because they don't tell you that. So some definite advantages I really like about the Jiffy system is that it's really easy to use. You just get it in the mail, you pour your water in, and you're good to plant your seeds. It's quick and easy to use. And then it was easy to water inside my house. Under my hutch is where I keep my seeds. I don't have a greenhouse, so it was really simple to water. Well, that is until it started leaking. So I went ahead and bought a tray to put under it. For the experiment. So we're going to keep ours in a tray so it doesn't leak all over my house. As I said, yeah, they're pretty flimsy. Okay, so soil blocks. I'm really excited to start soil blocks for the first time this year. And some advantages are, it was definitely ended up to be less expensive, I think. But keep in mind, I am using my do-it-yourself soil block maker. So there's a video I did on building this, so you can build it with me if you want to. And it was it was a little over $1. So that was really fun and easy. And then another advantage, like I said, is mixing it up wasn't very expensive. And I got this tray from Bootstrap Farmer, and the tray is really hardy, and it was $6. So I think this will last me from season to season, and I will not have to throw it away, which is not environmentally sound at all. This is more sustainable, so I do like this. I don't want to throw away all that plastic that's not lasting me. Now, if you don't make a soil block maker yourself, if you buy those soil block makers that you can do 4 at one time, 2-inch blocks of 4, then it's $40, from $40 to $50 each. But it's metal, it's made out of metal, it seems sturdy. I bet it would last a long time. I don't need that many soil blocks. I'm not a market gardener, like I said. I'm just trying to grow food for my family. So this really made the initial startup cost really super low. All right, now when I bought the mix for my soil blocks, it was a little bit pricey. I've got them all here, and I did a video also about that, how to mix up your mix for them, and I will link both of those to the in the video description. But the peat moss, it was a little bit pricey because it was such a huge quantity, but as you can see, hardly made a dent in it. This is going to last me a long time, you guys. I'll just probably store it in my garage and it'll last a long time. Same with the vermiculite. It was a little bit pricey, but it's going to last me forever. And then the composted cow manure that I put in was just $1.99, so that wasn't a big deal. So while that startup cost for the materials to make the soil blocks was a little bit higher, it's going to last me forever. I hardly made a dent in it. So when I divide each soil block between the price of these, it's a lot less than the Jiffy planting system pellets, the refills on those. So definitely more economical and more sustainable. I can also make bigger blocks. So I'm making these 2-inch blocks, whereas the Jiffy blocks, as you can see, quite a bit smaller. And then one advantage was I could just put the fertilizer right into my soil mix. I used the composted cow manure, and I also used my mealworm castings from my mealworm bin that I use for fertilizer. And so that's one thing about the Jiffy planting method that I found. The plants germinated really well and they came up, but then I thought they started to look a little sickly and a little bit, they just didn't have that great green color. And I think it's because the peat pellets don't have any fertilizer in them. You probably could use fish emulsion or seaweed something spray, foliar spray, but these are in my house, so I don't want it to smell fishy in my dining room or like seaweed. So I thought it was an advantage to go ahead and put my fertilizer in the soil blocks when I mixed it up, and I think my plants are going to be healthier because of it. So the disadvantages I see to soil blocks is it's a little bit harder to make. When I first started and I mixed up my mix, it was a little hard to find the right consistency between water and mix, but I think now I've really got it down. One thing about my soil block maker that I would change is it's a little bit tall, so I'm just taking off the end of each block, but I will probably, if I make it again, I'll probably change that about it. So one other thing that was kind of a disadvantage about soil block is when I made my mix, I had to use a screen. So as you can see, let me show you, like the peat, for instance, there is a lot of big chunks and twigs and stuff in the peat as there was in the cow manure. So if you don't have a screen made already, then you would have to make a screen to make up your mix for the first time. I already had this made because I use it on my vermicomposting bin to sift out the black gold from my earthworms. So I already had it made, and it wasn't hard to make. It's just one more step that you'd have to take if you were going to start out with the soil block method. And I'm assuming you could use it every year whenever you made soil blocks. So it would just be that one-time thing. So that's not a huge deal. And then the other disadvantage that I'm wondering about, I'm not sure yet, is will it be a little harder to water these soil blocks than it will be the Jiffy system. So I'm not sure about that. We'll find out together. By that I mean I've seen them watered in a greenhouse where I take the sprayer and spray them down. Obviously they're inside my house, so I'll either have to carry them outside and spray them down, or maybe use a spray bottle, because I'm wondering if I water them, like pour the water in, will they start to fall apart? I'm not really sure. So we're gonna find that out together. All right, that's kind of the advantages and the disadvantages to the Jiffy planting system and soil blocks. And now let's get the seeds and plant these. I'm done planting my seeds. That was fun. Now all I have to do is tuck them in and put them under their grow light, under my hutch, in my dining room. That's where I grow my seeds. Now obviously I wasn't able to plant my whole garden in here because I'm doing an experiment, so I wanted to plant some of each of the same thing, because I didn't want to, you know, plant broccoli in one and lettuce in another and have one germinate and come up better than the other. So I planted the same seeds, same thing in both flats. Obviously I had more with 72 discs to plant in this one, so I filled it in with some carrots, but other than that they're the same. So what I think I'm going to do, because I don't have my broccoli planted, I have my Swiss chards, my beets, my some lettuce, spinach in both of these. Sugar snap peas I put in the larger soil blocks because they just don't seem to fit in the little ones, the sugar snap peas. So that's one difference I did in there and I didn't do in here. Anyway, so what I think I'm going to do is, I think I'm going to buy 2 more flats from Bootstrap Farmer. I really like these sturdy flats. And then I'm going to plant the rest of my broccoli and kale in those. And then these will sit under the grow light in the daytime. And then I'll pull these out and put them on the table. And then I will pull my others in and run it all night. And then switch them out in the morning. So I think that's how I'm going to do this since I'm doing this experiment. But I really do want to do this year. I want to find out which planting method I like better and works better for me. Now, some of you guys will be able to plant some of this stuff right in your garden, like beets. You can plant right in the garden. Carrots, you can usually plant right in the garden. Lettuce goes right in the garden. But for me, right now, September is really hot, dry month, and it would be impossible for me to keep those little seeds well watered in those top few inches of soil. I've tried a lot of different methods to try to germinate seeds out in the September garden, and it just doesn't work out because also they need those, some of them need those cool temperatures like beets and carrots and lettuce. So they don't want that harsh sunlight. So that's why for me, I need to start things inside and then pop them into the garden where I have a better chance. It's a little bit cooled off, it will be by the time they're ready to go in the garden, and I have a better chance of keeping them nice and moist like they need to be to get started. So that's just something that is for Dallas-Fort Worth. A lot of you guys can do a lot of this stuff in the garden, which I'm a little bit jealous. I'm a little bit jelly about that, but you know, it's all right. I'm gonna bloom where I'm planted, and I'm gonna deal with the conditions that I have been dealt with here. All right. I love planting seeds, you guys. It's such a hope for a new beginning. I love it. And I'm super excited to find out, to be using soil blocks, first of all, for the first time, because a lot of you guys have said in the comments, oh, soil blocks is the way to go, do soil blocks. So I'm super excited to be trying that for the first time, and I'm excited to see the difference, see what I think. All right, I'm just gonna finish tucking these in and then put them under the grow light. Okay, they're all set. Now when I start to see sprouts come up, I'll lower the lights quite a bit because they need to be like a few inches above the soil level. So I will do that. I'm excited. And I should note that there's one thing I would change about my grow light system, but I would do a 4-bulb light if I had to do it again, because the seeds on the edge just don't get the light that they need, and they get a little bit leggy. But you know, it's been working, so no big deal. All right, I'm excited, you guys. I'll keep you posted. Bye now.